A very good evening to one and all present here. Respected dignitaries, esteemed speakers and guests, welcome to Advantage Assam 2.0 Day 1 session of the day, the Biomanufacturing and Biofoundries, leveraging Biotech Policy for Assam's roadmap. The Biomanufacturing and Biofoundries session focuses on the biotech industry through discussions with the key stakeholders. Esteemed speakers and experts in the sector will address the opportunities and challenges in this growing domain. This session aims to unlock Assam's potential in this unique industry. Today's session will be a benchmark in the context of Assam's growth and development. We'll look forward to soak in the ideas, visions, and objectives of the sessions with our invited expertise. And once again, I welcome all of you to the land of culture, to the land of heritage and resources, Assam, where dreamers weave reality. Ladies and gentlemen, can we have a big round of applause as we are about to begin the session, the Biomanufacturing and Biofoundries, leveraging Biotech Policy for Assam's roadmap. May I now invite onto the stage Dr. Swapnil Sinha, CEO, Bionest IIT Guwahati, the moderator of today's session, to kindly take over.
Good evening, everyone. It's a privilege to have you all in this insightful session on biomanufacturing and biofoundries, leveraging Bio-E3 policy for Assam roadmap. Today we come together at a crucial junction where India's vision of Viksit Bharat 2047 aligns with a rapidly evolving bioeconomy landscape. Assam and the Northeast region, with their immense biodiversity and untapped potential, have a pivotal role to play in this transformation. The Bio-E3 policy lays a robust foundation for harnessing biotechnology as a driver of economic growth and self-reliance. As we delve into today's discussion, we will explore how biomanufacturing and biofoundries can unlock new opportunities for Assam and position the region as a leader in the global bioeconomy towards more Atmanirbhar Bharat. To start the session, it is our honor and privilege to have with us today Honorable Minister of Science and Technology, Government of Assam, Shri Keshav Mahantaji. As the Minister of Science, Technology and Climate Change in Assam, Shri Keshav ji has driven key initiatives to enhance scientific research, innovation, and environmental sustainability. His leadership has brought about notable achievements such as establishment of Assam Science Awards, recognizing groundbreaking contributions in the fields of science and technology. He has fostered international collaborations, notably in Thailand, to attract investments and promote Assam's technological potential, and more recently, the Assam Bio-E3 policy, and reinforcing Assam's position as a hub for innovation and growth in Northeast India. With his kind efforts, Assam is going to be the first state to have MOU with DBT Government of India under his leadership. Through these actions, Shri Mahantaji has emphasized the importance of integrating science and technology into Assam's development plans for a sustainable future. I now invite Shri Keshav Mahantaji to please come over to the dais. We are honored to have with us today Dr. Alka Sharma, Senior Advisor and Scientist ESH in the Department of Biotechnology, DBT, Ministry of Science and Technology, Government of India. Dr. Alka Sharma has made significant contributions in promoting and facilitating cutting-edge research and development, formulating guidelines and policies and legislation in the emerging areas of biotechnology. She has been instrumental in promoting public-private partnerships in biotech sector across the country. Her role as a coordinator of COVID-19 activities in DBT and BIRAC has resulted in achieving significant milestones, including development of 5 indigenous COVID-19 vaccines under Mission COVID Suraksha, the Indian COVID-19 vaccine development mission under Atmanirbhar Bharat. Currently, she is heading Biomanufacturing Directorate, a major new initiative of DBT and BIRAC approved by the Union Cabinet under Bio-E3 policy. And on a personal note, ma'am, since our PhD days, you are a source of inspiration like women scientists like me. Please come on the dais.
Very warm good evening, all of you. Dr. Alka Sharma, Senior Advisor, Department of Biotechnology, Government of India, Professor Ajay Kumar Sood, Principal Scientific Advisor to the Government of India, Sabnil Singha, CEO Bionist IIT Guwahati, and panelist Dr. Manish Diwan of Biofoundry, Mr. Rajiv Gandhi of Hastor Bioscience Limited, Mr. Krishnan of Able, Mr. Subramaniam Sandropa from Farmbox, and esteemed representative from industries, academia, startup, and scientists also. It is my pleasure to welcome all of you to this special session on biotechnology being held during Advantage Assam 2.0. Advantage Assam 2.0 is an initiative to showcase the opportunities and potentialities for developing Assam as an important industrial hub through investments in various sectors. One of the major areas of focus is the biotechnology sector, with which Assam can contribute immensely towards green economy. It is also an encouraging move that Government of Assam through its cabinet has approved the proposal of implementation on Bio E3 policy in Assam. I thank the Department of Biotechnology, Government of India for all their support and coordination in this regards. Going ahead, our state government with the vision of our Honorable Chief Minister has already notified a Bio E3 policy cell to coordinate the activities of Bio E3 policy so that proper facilitation could be extended by bridging of gap between industry, academia, and startups. The existing Assam Biotechnology Policy 2022-23, Assam Startup Policy, and Industrial Policies are friendly to the investors and startups. I would like to assure all of you that our government is very keen to set up an enabling ecosystem for biomanufacturing in the state. Already a decision has been taken by our cabinet to set up a biomanufacturing hub and bio-artificial intelligence hub, which will be hopeful in promoting biomanufacturing and skill development in biotechnology industries. For this, 5 major trust areas have been notified, which are biodiversity-based innovations, futuristic fresh water, food biotechnology, space technology application, and fragrance and aroma biotechnology. We will be happy to extend all possible support for innovation, research, startup, and industries in these thrust areas. The Guwahati Biotech Park under the Science and Technology and Climate Change Department is already extending support to incubates. The 4 bio-NIST under Biotechnology Industry Research Assistance Council and institutions like Assam Agriculture Universities are already providing an enabling ecosystem in the field of biotech research, innovations, and startups. So we already have this ecosystem, and we are strengthening this ecosystem through our recent initiatives, like setting up of Bio-E3 cell, signing MOU with Department of Biotechnology, Government of India, and approval for state-specific action plan for Bio-E3. With this background, I invite all of you and welcome to participate in this green growth pathway of Assam for a vibrant and sustainable Assam. Your active participation is in this session will certainly bring new ideas and opportunities for us. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir. So we have with us today a very esteemed galaxy of panelists, and I would like to invite them onto the dais. First, I will invite Dr. Manish Dewan, Head Biofoundry, NCR Biocluster and IVCOL. Dr. Dewan has 30 years of experience in both public and private sectors in nurturing and scaling innovation. In the last 7 years, Dr. Dewan has played major role in the successful implementation of DBT Biotech's mandate to empower biotech innovation ecosystems for health, medtech, agri-tech, and industrial biotech. He spearheads sectoral national initiatives including Startup India and Make in India. His accomplishments include setting up India's first incubation managers practice schools, field validation of medtech innovations in 12 states, and Northeast region ecosystem development with over 100 bio-startups and 8 incubators since 2023. Most recently, Dr. Dewan is leading the DBT Biotech's mission to develop a world-class iBrick and bioscience innovation park in 200 acres of NCR Biotech Cluster, promoting bioinnovation and biomanufacturing based on triple helix model. Welcome, sir. Next, I would like to invite Mr. Krishnan, Honorable President ABLE. Mr. Krishnan is a seasoned leader in the industrial biotech sector with over 30 years of global experience, specializing in sustainable enzyme and microbe-based solutions across SAARC countries. He has expertise in organizational strategy, business development, leadership, mergers and acquisitions, quality management, and supply chain operations. During his 27-year tenure at Novozymes, he served as managing director and regional president leading Indian operations. He played a key role in corporate governance, strategic acquisitions, and workforce expansion from 5 to 625 employees. His contributions include acquiring Biocon India's enzyme business, setting up R&D and formulation units, and establishing a shared service center for offshore activities. His long-term goal is to position India as a leader in biotechnology. Welcome, sir. Next, I would like to invite Mr. Subramani Ramachandrappa, founder of Formbox Bio. Mr. Subramani brings over 20 years of expertise in the biotech sector to his role as the founder and managing director of Formbox Bio, a synthetic biology research and manufacturing company focused on developing sustainable products and solutions. His previous venture, Laurus Bio, originally known as Ricor Life Sciences, made significant advancements in the production of animal origin-free recombinant proteins and enzymes, also extending its expertise to CDMO services for the biopharma and novel food industries. Welcome, sir. Next, I would like to invite Mr. Rajiv Gandhi, founder, CEO, and managing director at Hester Bioscience Limited. Mr. Gandhi is a first-generation entrepreneur, started a proprietary trading company in 1985 for distributing animal health products, which he later converted into one of India's largest animal vaccines manufacturing enterprise in the name of Hester Biosciences Limited. Being listed on BSE and NSE, Hester India is a 900 people strong organization which recorded a turnover of INR 2.85 billion in the financial year 2023-24. Having a passion for aviation, in 2017, Mr. Gandhi embarked on initiatives in general aviation. In 2016, he won the Outstanding Entrepreneur of the Year award from Ahmedabad Management Association, Gujarat. Currently, he holds many distinguished positions, include Chairman, FICCI Gujarat Council, Society Member of Biotech Research and Innovation Council, Government of India, Advisor to a number of reputed government and private organizations. Please give a big round of applause for all our panelists today. I now invite Dr. Alka Sharma to please deliver the keynote address.
Respected Honorable Minister of Revenue, Disaster Management, Information Technology, Science, Technology and Climate Change, Shri Kesav Mahanta ji, sir. Distinguished panelists, industry leaders and biotech innovators present here today with us for the very important session that is on biomanufacturing and biofoundries, leveraging Bio3 policy for Assam's roadmap. Namaskar and good evening to all of you. It's my privilege to be here with all of you at the Biotech session of Advantage Assam 2.0, an event that signifies Assam's growing potential as one of the leaders in biotechnology and biomanufacturing in the country. As you all have heard just now from the Honorable Minister, that Government of Assam is the first government in the country to take this Bio3 policy for implementation of Bio3 policy in the state. And it's the first state now that Department of Biotechnology has entered in Memorandum of Understanding on Bio3 implementation. The way it has moved in last 1 month, and then we had 2-3 meetings, and that with the support from Honorable Minister and also Chief Secretary and Science and Technology Secretary, we all worked together and to finalize the MOU and legal vetting and all kind of formalities in the government we did from our side, and the same was done by Assam government in very few days. And that was approved by the cabinet, the state, and now we are ready to move forward to establish Bio3 cell in the state. And this shows the commitment of both the sides, center and state, but most importantly from the state. And the kind of team we have in Government of Assam under the leadership of our Honorable Chief Minister, Honorable Minister, Chief Secretary and Secretaries, Science and Technology, and the entire team is commendable. We are working with other states also, so now we are hoping that the same way other states will also sign MOU with Department of Biotechnology. So at the outset that I extend my sincere gratitude to the Honorable Chief Minister and the Honorable Ministry of Science and Technology for their guidance, and all the stakeholders who have come together to spare the providing shape to the future of biotechnology in this state. Assam, with its vast biodiversity, rich agriculture resources and strategic location as the gateway to Northeast India, holds immense potential for biotechnology-driven economic transformation. Many of you, as you have heard and earlier also, that the Bio3 policy, that is biotechnology for economy, environment and employment, was approved by the Union Cabinet under the chairmanship of our Honorable Prime Minister, and this was approved in August 2024. And soon after that, the policy was released by our Honorable Minister, Science and Technology, Dr. Jitendra Singh Ji, in August 2024. This policy provides a robust framework for India's transition to a bio-based economy. This policy focuses on high-performance biomanufacturing by fostering innovation in production of bio-based products such as enzymes, chemicals, APIs, biopolymers, and also this functional foods and smart proteins, precision biotherapeutics, which include cell and gene therapy, mRNA therapeutics, monoclonal antibodies, And the fourth one is climate resilient agriculture. The fifth thematic area which has been identified under Bio3 policy is carbon capture and utilization. And the sixth one, very important, is marine and space biotech research. And that has been added as a new component, keeping in view the importance of these two sectors. So this to enable these thematic sectors and to augment these endemic sectors, that the bio-enablers, that is Mool Ankur, and that's the crux of the implementation of all these thematic areas across the country, and that includes setting up of biofoundries, biomanufacturing hubs, and bio-AI hubs across the country. And this will also ensure economic and environmental sustainability, interministerial coordination, and also public-private partnership. The Assam stands at the threshold of a transformative opportunity by leveraging the Bio3 policy, and with the right kind of investments, collaboration, and policy interventions, we can harness biotechnology to drive sustainable growth, environmental resilience, and job creation, particularly in areas such as, and that exercise has been done with the stakeholders in Assam, that was organized by the Chief Secretary's office with all the stakeholders, and Dr. Rajesh S. Gokhale, Secretary DBT, and we all were there to discuss that what should be the focus in the state, keeping in view the Bio3 policy. So areas which have been identified for the state includes functional food and nutraceuticals, leveraging Assam's tea, rice, and medicinal plants for high-value health products. The second area which has been identified based on the brainstorming session held here with the stakeholders, fragrance and aroma biotechnology, utilizing indigenous aromatic species to develop essential oils and natural fragrance. The third one is aquatic biotechnology, advancing aquaculture and marine-based biopharmaceuticals using Assam's rich aquatic biodiversity. The Department of Biotechnology, Government of India, has been committed to strengthening Assam's biotech ecosystem. Initiatives such as Guwahati Biotech Park, BioNest Incubators by BIREC, which is a PSU Department of Biotechnology, and the proposed Bio3 cell will play a crucial role in nurturing startups, fostering innovation, and driving commercialization. I also would like to highlight the importance of public-private partnership in accelerating the biotech growth in the state, and we must foster a strong ecosystem where research institutions, industry leaders, and government agencies work together to create sustainable and scalable biotech solutions. So today's discussion, it is imperative that we identify actionable strategies with the aim to enhance Assam's biomanufacturing capabilities by establishing biomanufacturing and biomanufacturing hubs and biofoundries facilities in the state, attracting investment in precision biotherapeutics, sustainable agriculture, and bio-based chemicals, and developing a high-skilled workforce to support Assam's growing biotech industry. We have a very eminent panelists today with us, ranging from the academia and also from industry, and they are going to share with us their experiences and expertise and how these the activities of Bio3 policy can be implemented in the state. And I am confident that today's discussion will pave the way for a robust and dynamic biotechnology landscape in Assam. So let us work together with the right vision, collaboration, and commitment to turn Assam into a global leader in sustainable biomanufacturing and biotech innovation. Once again, I thank you, each one of you, and all the stakeholders for their valuable contribution for today's event. Looking forward to insightful discussion during the panel and on the very important theme, that is biofoundries and biomanufacturing under Bio3 policy. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am. I think Dr. Alka Singh had already set the context about the today's discussion regarding the Bio-E3 policy of India and how Assam is putting a framework in place. So I'll just delve into the discussion. But how do we ensure its effective execution? What role do biofoundries and modular manufacturing play in transforming research into scalable solutions? And how Assam can play a crucial role in establishing these hubs across the state. So we'll be discussing all these with our eminent panelist member. So let's delve into the discussion. Can I have a mic? So thank you again, everyone, to be here with us today. So my first question is with you, Mr. Gandhi. So Hester Biosciences, and I think since 1997 you are into manufacturing of vaccines and of course therapeutics also, right? So my first question to you is that, how do you see the role of biomanufacturing evolving in India, especially in the context of Assam?
Good evening to all. Biomanufacturing, biotechnology has taken a very big leap in our country. Today, as I am in vaccines, so my knowledge is more pertinent to vaccines, animal vaccines mainly. On the human vaccine side, India produces 60% of the world's human vaccines. That in itself shows how important India is to the world in terms of vaccine manufacturing, as well as it also translates in terms of biotechnology. Coming specifically to Assam, on the vaccine front, what I would say is what is required for a good growth for this industry. You need a clean, pristine environment which is not polluted, which is free from pollution, which today Assam is an absolute ideal location in a way. Good water quality. These are the two main things. And third, of course, we need people, scientists, qualified people who would work in laboratories to take the things forward. Here I would like to say that today at Hester Biosciences, our plant is in Ahmedabad. We have 5 scientists who are from Assam and from one of the other states. This in itself shows that there is enough talent over here. If this talent is kept nurtured in its own state over here, I see no reason for such projects to actually come up over here, as it fits everything. It has every single thing that it would need for, at least for vaccine manufacturing.
I think it's very nice you said that it has the optimal conditions.
Yes.
So we have low APIs as compared to Delhi.
Absolutely.
Right. So my next question is with Dr. Diwan. So you have been now spearheading the biofoundries, establishing those in Bairak. So just wanted to know from your perspective that, we have, of course, in India, we do not have that extensive biomanufacturing hubs, but we do have these across the world, right? So is there, you want to just name a few examples so that, our audience may know that, what does it mean if you have a successful biomanufacturing hub or foundries, which Assam can also follow?
Yeah, thank you. Very glad to come here and participate with all of you for the Assam Advantage. And I think just like us who have come to see ourselves and propagate that there is potential for Assam, I think a lot of other people have also come and they are trying it firsthand and seeing is believing. What are the opportunities which are there? So evidently there are some, and some would evolve through the discussions between the business partners. In terms of biofoundry, we can consider a place where you can actually test out your POCs to pilot level and validation level. The scale of operation is much bigger than the laboratory level testing, in vitro testing. For example, if you were to make a pilot batch to test out the potencies, safety studies, and process optimization, CMCs. If you were to make, let's say, a diagnostic kit, you want to make 10,000 kits of the proposition that you have made, the POCs you have established. You want to validate whatever you are seeing in controlled laboratory conditions to a much larger scale of, let's say, protein expression or enzyme preparation from, let's say, 5-liter batch to 50-liter, 500-liter batch. So that is the level of scale we are talking in terms of in the biofoundry. So similar to your test tube experiments, you will do experiments at a much larger scale, but of course the number of experiments would be far fewer if those were guided with the right parameters, predictions, and the confidence in the data that you have generated at the small scale. Because the cost of operations and the asset value, the proposition also goes higher. And if you are able to demonstrate at pilot and validation level, that attracts the follow-on investment, conviction of industry to come and partner with you if you are a startup or a faculty entrepreneurship to take it forward. So that's the power of the missing gap in the ecosystem, the missing infrastructural gap in the ecosystem that can help us to leapfrog to the next level, that is towards a bio-based product manufacturing. As you asked, globally, what we get to see is these biomanufacturing hubs or where these biofoundries are available, there exists a triple helix of industry, innovation through research institutions, startups, and a infrastructure that can enable this pilot to validation level gap. So that three elements are critical to coexist, co-localize, if I may say so. For instance, if you look at across technology sectors, this triple helix model actually has demonstrated success. For example, in the bio side, you look at Mass Bio in Boston. So within a walking distance, you have research institutions, you have industry, you have investments coming from private sector, and the infrastructure which is required. Similarly, you look at Singapore, which is next door, Biopolis. You look at Silicon Valley, which is tech-based bio hub, bio cluster. Tel Aviv. Likewise, all across the world, this has been a successful model. In India, we have some examples, but these are kind of isolated. You have either manufacturing excellence put together, like Genome Valley, which has only industries coming together and working. They are not connected with, let's say, innovation piece, which is the research institutions or the startups. So Bangalore is also similarly scattered. You have incubation centers, but they are not working closely with the, let's say, industries. There are GCC, Global Capability Centers. None of them are working in conjunction with any of these elements. So maybe once we look at across the ecosystem, we can learn from this, and that is what the essence of BioE3 policy, that we should create biofoundries and biomanufacturing hub, and learning from the best practices of the world, kind of co-localize, bring these elements together and create bioclusters. So I hope Assam would learn from this, and maybe the seeding point would be your Guwahati Biotech Park, where you can kind of leapfrog into this direction.
I think you pointed out a very, success mantra, I would say, the triple helix model, because we always observe, especially in India, that there is very less translation happening from academia to, and there is no set, I would say, still a framework in which, the optimal utilization of patents and research is translated into some commercial product. So I think that brings on to my third question with Krishnan ji. So you have been enabled, and I think this question is very apt. I would ask that what do you think are the biggest challenges for the biotech startups in translating research into commercial success?
Yeah, thank you, Swapnil. And thanks to the organizers for inviting. And it's really a great pleasure to be here for the second time. And first of all, I'd like to congratulate the Assam government and the minister for taking the first initiative to roll out the Bio-E3 and having a biomanufacturing setup here, which is really a very big initiative, and to a state which is very, very progressive. Coming to your question, I think what we have seen is most of the time, before that I would like to say we will be 10,000 bio startups very soon. It is critically important that innovation is key to the success, and again startups and the entrepreneurs are very, very key. There have been a lot of support which is coming from DBT and BIRAC with various grants. The challenges which I have been observing, or we have been observing, is people actually have to understand it is not the question of laboratory, the pilot, but the scale up to the level which is very, very important. And most of the startups are having challenges on funding. This is one area which DBT and BIRAC have addressed, and Bio-E3 policy actually answers this also. In fact, that is something which will be a very big step which will support more startups to be successful. The next part of it which I have specifically seen here is most of the startups with their very, very enthusiastic mind, these entrepreneurs do not understand the challenges related to regulatory. Something which we feel that there is need of education for that. The next stage, even if they have a very good, successful, innovative idea, while they are succeeding in scale up, it's a question of understanding what the market needs, what should be the pricing strategy, what should be the launch strategy, what is that the market requires. These are some of the areas which there are gaps which Able would be doing it. In fact, we are supporting some of the startups by way of mentoring and other things to ensure they are successful. Overall, I would say that if we have to see more success with the number of grants coming from DBT and BIRAC to support the startups to set up and bio-entrepreneurship promotion, we need these areas to be addressed. First step has been the Bio-E3 policy. The next would be the close interaction between industry, academia and the startup to see where we could probably support them and ensure there is more success. And I'm sure that this is one area with IIT over here will probably address it more seriously. That's my take.
I think you pointed a a problem or a challenge with the startups, not understanding the regulatory framework and compliances. And I think as an enabler, we face this challenge every time. And in Assam, most of the startups, they are agri-based and food tech startups. And to take that into the market, they really need to understand the entire regulatory framework, which is actually lacking here. And I'm sure that, with all the policy guidelines coming in, they'll understand it better. I now turn to Mr. Subramani. So what inspired you to start Firmbox? And what unique solution does it actually bring to biomanufacturing and synthetic biology?
Thank you for having me here, and I really enjoyed all the stalls and all the vibrancy in Assam. This is probably my second visit to Assam. Also, Mr. Minister ji, I'm very happy to hear that this is the first state to sign the Bio-E3
yes.
From between the center and the state. So, I've been an entrepreneur for the last 25 years. How many of you here are entrepreneurs? Okay, we have so many, that's cool. So when I started my first venture, it was in 2000s. There was really no BIRAC that time. Okay. So we were left on our own. We had to figure out what to do. We had very little funds for research, and we had to produce cash. And we needed a balance sheet to get any funding from the government, right? From the bank or whatever. So the challenges was like you translate your research faster into something of a business. So what would happen is you couldn't go really deep in science. You couldn't really produce deep tech and produce something in an asset-heavy industry. We should all understand as biotech entrepreneurs, whether it is food processing or it is recombinant proteins or it is cell and gene therapy. Biotech is an asset-heavy industry. And you can go as deep as you want in terms of the science. So the first journey of mine went through several rounds of products, fundraising, because the investors were also not conducive to biotech investment unless the risk is addressed. So how can a biotech research company be without risk? So what happens is you raise funds, you get diluted, and then by the time your company really becomes big and successful, you're actually having a strategic who has more say, and then you move on, right? But biotech journeys are long. So after I exited my first venture, I realized there are two problems in the industry. One, if you look at your mobile phone or your computer, there are hundreds of technologies in that phone or computer owned by hundreds of companies. They've come together to make a phone or a laptop. But in biotech, we don't collaborate enough. You'll see companies developing an idea into a clone or a vaccine and then doing that prototype, then getting approvals, then building a plant, doing clinical trials and going to market. That's a lot of heavy lifting for the same company. And I thought that if you want to build scale, global scale, from out of India, we have to be more collaborative. So Firmbox is built on a bedrock that you need far more collaborations, both on product development side, scale up, manufacturing and go to market. So Firmbox makes various products, but we have a very strong collaborative model. And Bio-E3 policy really resonates with that because it allows for deep tech development. And the other cool thing is, it's a state matter more than a center matter. Because when you build a manufacturing plant, you're going to build it on land. So you have to work with the state. You have to get pollution control board approvals. Then you need to get people and team who actually live in a state. So end of the day, I would think Bio-E3 policy is going to be driven by more than states, of course led by Assam, and then with the support of the center. That's what I say.
Just want to let you all know, Subramani is a very successful entrepreneur. Firmbox is today, but he had rich core yesterday, which became very rich to start this. So you all should be very happy to know he's a very successful entrepreneur.
Again, I'll ask Subramani ji, what do you think that, what are the key factors that help a biotech startup transition from R&D to large-scale manufacturing? What Dr. Diwan also said, the scaling up procedure.
So there are 3 hoops we have to jump. So I always think it's like the circus and entrepreneurs jump hoops. So the first hoop is technology, right? We have to develop the technology.
Right.
That itself is a very big valley of death to actually prove a proof of concept.
Indeed.
And it's amazing how many biotech entrepreneurs have happened in the last few years, because it's a very, very treacherous hoop to jump.
Thanks to Biotek, actually.
Thanks to Biotek, yes. The second hoop is you need infrastructure. Even your lab, your setup where you can do, because you need high-end equipment. Okay, you finished your R&D in an incubation center, but you need a pilot scale.
Right.
That's where Biotek comes in with the Biofoundry support. Then you need larger infrastructure, like Sir had to build facilities to make vaccines, right? And then you need to get through your regulatory hurdle, because your regulator is not going to approve your product till you have a facility in which you make it. He wants to know where you will make it. So you may sit with a white elephant where you built the facility and waiting for regulator's approval for 2 years.
Right.
And that can be very expensive. So there are 3 hoops: technology, infrastructure, regulatory. Right? Now, if you want to circumvent this and become a successful company, you have to have some support, one from the government, and 2, you need entrepreneurial resilience. Because in biotech, if you are not going to have that resilience, it's going to be a challenge. I'm a believer that it won't matter whether it is the state of Assam or even further into the northeast. Biotech is a business which can attract a market based on what it offers. You have facilities in Puerto Rico, which is like an island. You have facilities in some corner of Brazil. So I don't see which is a state which is just 2 hours probably or 1 hour from Delhi or from 3 hours from Bangalore to be in any disadvantage in biotech. I think the passion and energy that the state is showing is enough to actually propel entrepreneurship, because that's what you need to get through the first hoop.
I think you pointed out very nicely, and I have been in this ecosystem since 2017 now, and I have seen the transition. In the beginning, I was looking at the startups who are not very biotech intensive also, but since last 2 years, the startups, they really, and especially the regulatory part, and now they are thinking about very intently that how to scale up. So that valley they want to cross, and that is a very promising change I'm observing. So I now come to Mr. Gandhi. So Hester Biosciences has, expanded beyond India also. So what lessons can, the state of Assam can learn from your experience in building a globally competitive biomanufacturing or vaccine manufacturing company?
Yes, I would say the first thing which comes to my mind in this, we have one plant in Nepal and one plant in Tanzania near Dar es Salaam city. What we feel that, getting electricity, getting land, all these things the state is going to help. They have committed, and it's all absolutely everything is going to be there. The manpower for any biotech company is again extremely important.
Yes.
And it is important that people from the local area themselves are nurtured through training, and they then get jobs over here, and then they take it further. See, we are not like in the West where moving somebody from A location to B location. In our country, these things don't really happen that easily. It happens, but it is a little bit tough. I think the most important is creating a workforce over here of a qualified people that would actually help to establish the unit. The rest, all things are going to be available, including finance. Whether you are in Ahmedabad, where we are, or you are in Guwahati, the financing bank is the same, whatever you do. At both these places. As I said, the state is going to give you electricity, land, etc. Yes, you have to buy the land, etc. Train the manpower. And another thing is that try to have institutes over here which train people in all the levels. It's not just getting a high-level scientist, it is training people how to work even at the floor level, the blue collar. In biotechnology, everything is important because you are dealing with nature, you are dealing with science. So even an unskilled worker actually needs to have some type of skill, because without that it would be difficult. So I think that would be one of the main things that I would say that you require a creation, because that is what we did in both the places. In fact, we had less manpower in Dar es Salaam. We sent around 20 of them, all scientists, microbiologists, to India, trained them, and we sent them back rather than taking anybody from India over there. So, and as I told you, we have 5 people from the northeastern places working at Hester. So I think, it's very easy for you to develop this over. Yes.
Yeah. Definitely. So, in Assam, since Assam is also a biodiversity hotspot and a lot of medicinal plants, and the entire biotech industry can be very, very promising here. I mean, biomanufacturing is a part of it, but so, and we have a lot of startups here in this session today who are into that space in biotech sector of Assam. So my question is with you now, Krishnanji, is that what initiatives is able taking to support biotech startups in MSMEs and in biomanufacturing space?
Yeah, Able has been taking a lot of initiatives. To start with, we had this program called the Best Awards with the Biotech Entrepreneurship Student Team Innovative Ideas. In fact, what we do this, we take them through a boot camp where we tell them about how to present a case, for example, how to make a business case, how to put various aspects related to the cost of setting up such a facility. We get into detail. And in fact, these students actually, they are a group of 4 or 5 from various colleges who have been given an opportunity, and we have had very successful cases. In fact, I should tell you all, one case coming from Manipur. Manipur, actually, we all know very well, ginger is one of the cultivation which is very important. These 4 girls came out with an idea of setting up a ginger beer. Ginger beer is non-alcoholic. And in fact, the way they came out with the technology and other things, they were the first winners. Why we are saying this is the way we have to create entrepreneurship in the country, and this is the way we need to promote. What we also realize is the importance of academia and actually also the industry leaders coming and speaking to them, mentoring them, which is what ABLE facilitates. What we probably do is to go to individual colleges, promote entrepreneurship, have specific ABLE days, which basically people from regulatory, people from patent, all the experts speak to them about the importance and understanding. Just innovation is not about just innovating. It's a question of ensuring that you comply to the regulation. You are actually innovating ideas which are near to market. It's not something somebody wants to innovate something just to have a patent as a library. That's not what we want. We want something which has to be a commercial reality. This is what we educate them. We also bring investors to such meetings to tell them what is their expectations to fund. So we do all this sort of facilitation to ensure that actually we have more successful entrepreneurs. And what we have seen now from students, especially from the biotech institution, there are increasing innovative ideas coming up, and students want to be entrepreneurs. And this is where institutions need to promote. And most of the cases also, what happens after they complete their course, it's left half the way. So we are now telling the colleges that actually you should have continuity. The next set of students can take over that and continue with that, and maybe they can have a stake, the students who have left. So all these aspects are something which we are focusing on. We strongly feel it has to be a big effort which associations like us and the industry and academia have to promote. India requires innovation, and I think biotechnology is all about innovation. We are talking about climate change challenges, we are talking about food scarcity, we are talking about various drought and other challenges for the agriculture sector. Everywhere it is innovation which is critical, and I think we need to promote, and that's what we do.
Very rightly you said that innovation is embedded in when you talk about biotech sector. And so when I first came into this ecosystem, I realized that there was very less investor connect here in entire Northeast. But I think now the scenario is changing, and what Krishnanji rightly said, it all because of that process, scouting, training, and mentorship. But again, like I said, that we are having, so we have to set up the infrastructure, of course, and then that's a second step that, we already have startups in biotech space who would go into that, innovation and biomanufacturing line. But still, there'll be a problem of investors, there'll be a problem of fund infusion. So I would like to ask Dr. Diwan that, how can, Assam attract global collaboration in biomanufacturing and biofoundries establishments?
When I look at pan-India level, how the local ecosystem has been evolving. So based on that learning, what I would suggest is that there can be 2 ways. One is that you build bottom up a talent pool, investment propositions right from Assam, that these are the startups, these are the industries, they are growing and they are attracting investments, global collaboration. That's one way. But that's a long way. Mm-hmm. It will take time. True. And you are competing with your neighboring states and any other state, right? You can reach there, but it will take very long time. The other way is to kind of build a bridge, be receptive, to create environment which is conducive to attract people from outside Assam, outside NER, people who have technology, people who have talent, people who have interest in the, as you rightly said, you are bioresource rich, climate is conducive, there is
Right.
nature in there. The state have attractive policies intent to bring and receive people like this event here. So that, so don't rely on the local startup, local industry, local talent pool. Attract from anywhere else. I give you one example which is coming to my mind. Silicon Valley, more than 70% of innovators who are there, they are not from US.
Yeah, that's true.
So outside US, so people like us from India and everywhere. Similarly, all other mature ecosystem you look at. So maybe we can bring people to Assam for the good and benefit of the Assam by providing that conducive environment here. One example, on-ground successful example, you remember Biotech Ignition Grant,
Yes.
where we did this experiment, that Biotech Ignition Grant for NER, that means anybody from Northeast region can compete for that. And people, it is also from and for. So people who have technology but want to establish in Assam or NER, they could also compete. And so I think that also instilled some know-how, technologies, and entrepreneurial spreads globally.
Idea exchange and a co-incubation, all those things. I think that is what you're trying to.
You embrace them.
Right.
For example, I come from Delhi. Now I see so many people around us from Northeast. It was a rare sight, let's say 10, 15 years back. Now every other person we interact in businesses, in routine procurements, universities, college, malls, everywhere, all across. So I think something similar that can happen.
Yeah, sure. Please go ahead.
I'm sorry I jumped. So I want to give one live example. I did hear the focus areas are, say, fragrances or nutraceuticals. I think that is already your strength.
Right.
And that is going to grow.
True.
So you are going to do even better with biotech intervention there. So there's that's already your strength.
Yes.
I think Assam should look at new areas and give birth to them. For instance, where you have market. For instance, right now, there is this huge biomass to ethanol facility coming up in Numaligarh. It needs 10,000 tons of enzyme. It's going to come from elsewhere.
Right.
Like I'm building a plant in Thailand to supply enzymes to Assam. It is ridiculous.
True.
Like I'm going to say it right here with the ministry here. Give us some space, we'll build an enzyme plant here. And you're going to have so much bamboo and you need so much more enzyme. Like I'm ready to say right now, I'm ready to make a commitment to build a plant here. Because if you bring anchor customers, the ecosystem will grow. If you're going to do small projects, it will take forever for them to become big. So the other thing is you have nutraceuticals, you have plants, botanicals. Soil is critical. We can grow acetobacterium. We can grow soil bacteria in large-scale fermenters and provide it to farmers.
Right.
Your farmer income will go up. Now that is biotech too. It is low-tech, high volume, high impact. Because we can talk in the air all the time. But if you ask me, there are few areas of fermentation, of biotech, which can aid your existing systems, like soil rejuvenation. Soil is eroding all over the world. And we're using urea and stuff like that. So here we can bring fermentation, support the farming community, and the same fermentation knowledge can go into producing other high-end, including recombinant protein. So that could be more actionable items. So bring anchor partners.
True. Ma'am, you would like to add something?
Yeah, just to take this discussion forward very briefly, I would like to mention that I agree with the panelists that time now has gone where we were just discussing about the small projects, R&D and all. Last more than 15 years, the Department of Biotechnology is supporting training program to Northeast region. And particularly Assam now, actually we always consider this as a developed, that it never we consider this as a part of that, where the ecosystem is already there. So through training program, that kind of collaborative network projects were supported, and now it is also still is continuing. And apart from that, Biotech has supported this BioNest program across the NER. And NER, 8 BioNests have been established so far, and that is a landing space for the startups. So as we are hearing from other panelists also here, that all of them are encouraging everyone just to go to the next level, whether it's a bridging the gap or just taking the bigger projects, which is now for pre-commercial level and finally commercialization and all. So through Bio-E3 policy, our aim is to foster high-performance biomanufacturing, and from the center we are going to work with the team here, and we are going to focus on many of the existing strengths. At the same time, we'll develop whatever is there and with other experts across the country, and we'll try to bring here to this place, and that has a direct applications for the industry. So I think that message is very clear. And the last point is that every week, Department of Biotechnology and Biotech, now we are issuing the call for proposal in thematic areas. 2 weeks back, it was cell and gene therapy. Last week, it was smart protein. Now today, carbon capture and utilization. And subsequent week also, you are going to see many advertisements for call for proposal. Please feel free to read that, and if there is any doubt, that try to reach out to the officer concerned, and everything is there on the website. I think that is going to help to take the ecosystem to the next level. Thank you.
I think that was a moral booster for all the biotech startups who are sitting right here, right now. So for you, everyone, the stage is set by all the policymakers and the stakeholders. All you have to say is now to perform. So I just, in the interest of time, I'll just ask one question. Anybody can choose to answer. What are the top? What, in your opinions, what are the top predictions for the future of biomanufacturing in India and globally? Anyone can take that question. Yeah, please.
I think at least what we believe in the areas of biopharma and smart proteins is another big area. And biofuel, again, the state is leading in that, especially the 2G ethanol. We will be able to supply to the globe biofuel with all the biomass available. As Subbu was mentioning, it's a question of local innovation, indigenous technologies and others, which is going to make a big difference. We have, I think, a very big role to play globally. Only one part which I would like to caution, still there are challenges related to quality. And then again, the technology, which is very important. You need state-of-the-art technology for the globe to believe we can do it better than them. We have the scientific talent in this country, where today, when it comes to smart protein innovation, India was a sought-after destination, even producing protein. And Subbu is one among the classic examples who have done that. Thank you.
Anyone else who want to throw on some points?
Yeah, I think I agree with Sir what he just mentioned. I think also there would be very drastic changes in the regulatory pattern that would come up, because there would be more disputes that would come up because of infringement, etc. So I think while that is the path, one will have to keep in mind the regulatory issues for sure.
That's very important, yes.
Yeah. Because the West, again, is so strong on it. Anything here and there, there are chances of getting into legal litigations, etc. So just caution, nothing of any pessimism on it.
Right. So this, okay. Yeah, no, please. Yeah.
Yeah, it works. Thanks. I think world has finally realized the power of biotechnology.
True.
And this is getting evident in all sciences, all interdisciplinary areas where bio plays a role. And this is inevitable that we don't follow that wave, or we sit back and don't act anything to be in the front runner in the race. So that is what basically the Bio-E3 policy is, to push nationwide recognition of bio strength. If you look globally, people have started measuring GDP growth in terms of bioeconomy.
Right.
And you, like everybody would have known, DBT BIREC is now following bioeconomy for last several years now. Basis which we now say that by 2030 we would achieve 300 billion target for bioeconomy. Currently, our contribution of bioeconomy is like anything related to bio-based manufacturing products, etc. So that is what all accounts for bioeconomy in a nutshell. So right now, only about 4.25% is what we are contributing to our GDP in terms of bioeconomy.
Yes.
So if we were to upscale that to become sustainable in future, our growth becomes sustainable in future. That is what is carbon capturing, sustainable future, replacement of non-renewable resources, etc., where the bio will play a role. So we need to move towards 10% contribution to our GDP by 2047.
Yes.
If we were to do this, then we are there in one of the top few countries and economies. And my submission here is that since Minister Ji is also here, so I'll make a request, and I've been professing it across the country, across different states, that to achieve $300 billion target by 2030, it's not easy. Until each state starts to map its own bioeconomy and say that today I am here, by 5 years, 10 years, I want to reach to point B. And I think all the state policies, industrial policy, biotech state policy would then can be nudged to promote that and reach that target. Abel is here, Krishnan is here. They can help the state to map the bioeconomy, and we are also here from center. We can also partner with you to facilitate your journey towards that milestone.
I'd just like to add what Dr. Manish was mentioning. In fact, India is contributing 4% of the GDP is coming from the bioeconomy. But we should be one way proud. Both China and the US are on the same level. But that's not what we want. If you look at Europe, it's beyond 15 to 18%. That's where we want to be. And of course, today, the bioeconomy of this state is $1 billion. That's what it is. I think as Dr. Manish was mentioning, we should have a target to become 10 billion very soon, maybe in the next 5 years, contributing more towards the bioeconomy of the state. The bioeconomy report, what we have made it for all India, now a lot of states are requesting for that specifically to understand what are their own resources available, what they could do more, what the other states are contributing towards stepping up the bioeconomy would be a very good exercise, and I would like to request the Minister that this is what we could do for you from ABLE and BIRAC. Thank you.
That's a really beautiful submission. I think as we move towards the end of this discussion, I would now like our audience to engage with our panelists. And please, if you have any questions with our panel, any of the members, please ask.
Anybody having a question, please raise your hand. I'll give a mic. I'll come.
Yeah, good evening. My name is Saurabh Rohila. I come from Toyota Kirloskar Motors. We are one of the automobile companies in India. I think, thank you for this panel discussion, especially with respect to the ethanol biofuel which has been discussed. And we are completely in sync with the point that ethanol sector can grow hugely. Just to give you a kind of a reference point, at Brazil, which is very similar to what India is in terms of, especially with respect to Assam, in terms of biodiversity and in terms of natural resources, Assam and other states which are biomass rich can progress very rapidly on ethanol sector. To give you an example, today Brazil is already at 45% ethanol blending. India is almost reaching 20%, which is a very significant jump in itself. What we think as automotive industry is that while we are talking about environment, pollution, we are also talking about carbon emissions, and this is where biofuel and ethanol comes into play significantly. And will be very great to Honorable Minister Sir, Mr. Mahanta, to display our flex fuel vehicles, which can actually...
Just to interrupt, can you come straight to the question, because we have a lot of other...
Yeah, so my point simple is that for state, today we do not see, there is a clean energy policy which has been rolled out. We would like to have some kind of policy support for flexi fuel vehicles, which can take up to 100% ethanol from 20% to 200%. We'll be more than happy to display our vehicles. That's my question.
Policy কথা
You want to answer?
I think the question of what percentage should be added is a center subject. This has to do with the center's decision on what percentage level you're increasing. What state could do is probably look at their own transport and other things to get into biofuel. But it cannot be a policy coming from state. Yeah. Yeah. No, gentlemen. When you say flex fuel, it has to do with the automobile companies to produce. But we can today, if you have flex fuel vehicles, one can go ahead and substitute. But the current vehicle, sir, they cannot take that.
ये तो स्टेट में नहीं होगा ना, स्टेट का सब्जेक्ट नहीं होगा वो.
Yeah.
नहीं, this I think to central subject. We cannot carry this subject, and like Bio E3, it is this policy from the center, yes. And we agree to implement the Assam. Like this, if any policy comes, then we can consider.
Yeah, please.
Hi, good evening everyone. I'm Akriti Wanchu from Mayura Ecological Solutions. We are an environmental advisory firm, and we're actually signing an MOU with Science and Technology to facilitate investments for the Bio E3 policy, particularly focusing on food security and climate resilience. My question is for Subramani sir. You talked about biostimulants and agri-biologicals and that being a huge potential, especially in terms of its impact on the state. Do you think there is merit in possibly looking at a more decentralized entrepreneur model when it comes to the farming sector, rather than having a big hub which does it and distributes it? We look at a more decentralized way where you're also then encouraging green livelihoods down at the rural level and within the farming community?
So, like personally, I am a big believer of decentralized manufacturing, but you cannot achieve scale.
Yeah.
Now, and also you cannot produce all the biopesticides you may need, you cannot produce all the live cultures you need for the soil, while a distributed would be like a little more capex friendly because you'll put small setups.
Yeah.
But maintaining quality, consistency is always a problem. For example, in the past, there was something for silage, like for the cattle, right? But they were not able to maintain quality of that because each farmer does his own thing. So, see, India has been doing jugaad for far too long. I think we should get over that.
I agree.
If you want to transform farmers' income, there should be a centralized way in which we can push these safe biotechnological interventions so that it reaches every farmer, and you can have many such hubs. Each district can have one biomanufacturing setup for producing biopesticides or producing live cultures, but it may not be, it's like, telling a cook to fly a flight. Why do you want him to do that? Let him do his job of growing and you provide him the constituents that he needs. That's what I suggest.
Thank you. We can have
One more question. Myself, Ganesh Kumar Gupta. I am from Golaghat, Assam. I am an incubator with Nest Jorhat, Bairak. So I am developing one special type of tea, GABA tea, but unfortunately I am not finding any lab to test the GABA level in the tea. GABA is gamma aminobutyric acid, and through special processing, the GABA, we can enhance the quantity of GABA in the tea by 20 times compared to normal tea. But unfortunately, no lab is there in India which can test what is the content of the tea.
There
so
are
my
labs.
request,
I think this question we can take up during discussion later on.
Okay,
Maybe
no
you can
problem.
connect with us and we can connect you where you can get your things done.
no, people from Jorhat, they have
We will connect you because this is, I think it is out of the scope question.
Thank
in
you,
this
thank
session.
you.
Can we have another and maybe the last question of the session? Oh, there is one. Okay. Yeah.
Hello, I'm Dr. Amrita Chaliha. We have a biotech startup and we are making tissue cultured bamboo saplings for a bioethanol plant. So they have a sustainable biomass to draw their bioethanol from. So my question is to Sir, Rajiv Gandhi sir. When you say that our place is quite clean and any kind of vaccine facility or, for example, our facility, like a tissue culture facility is easier to be set up there, here, what we have been combating is that, as we say, our region is very rich in biodiversity. It also means a lot of biodiversity in microorganisms. Yes. So that is what challenges we are facing. So I would just like to hear you speak on that. Do you think it would require more power, or how do you think that we could combat that, or how have you done that?
You see, any microorganisms, I'm again coming to vaccines, they need to be cultivated, grown, or handled in specific biosafety levels. You have 1, 2, 3, 4. So it is important that you have to create that biosafety level to handle some particular microorganism. It's not possible to do it in any place, without the security level. So I think that's the only way. There is no other way beyond that.
Right. Okay. Yes, that to combat this kind of diverse, because there are some microbes that we encounter, for example, endophytes. I'm speaking of plants here, of course. Yes. Endophytes, which are very specific and unique to our region. So any kind of scaling up requires standardization. But how do you standardize?
You create that safety level.
Yes.
And handle it in that.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
One more question.
One more. That's the last question. I think we can take one, sir.
Good evening. My name is Dr. Rajiv. My question to all the panelists here. So far, I know the Biotech grant, big grant is up to 50 lakhs, I think. Have you increased the limit up to it? Because as all of you said that it needs to be rolled,
So still it is 50, okay? Because it's a grant in aid. It means you have to make a base. Once you establish some proof of concept, then you have to come out and then you have to think for the next level. If you will increase the grant, you will again submit the project and you will be within the same kind of the stage. So 50 lakhs to a startup without any contribution from anyone is a grant in aid to a startup is being given to the innovators who can test the idea, go to the level where they can think for the bigger grant. If the government will increase the grant in aid to the startup, then you will not be able to think beyond that.
True.
So it's good to the 50 lakhs is good enough grant for the startup who is just starting the you are just testing your ideas and trying to take that further. feasibility studies and validation and all.
But the challenge is that, ma'am, the way all of you said that we need to think in that big way. We have
to join hands.
Baby steps.
You have
baby
to join hands. You have to create a network.
Collaborate.
You have to join hands with a group who are already working. If you are working in silos, you will not reach anywhere. It will take longer period that just to work on the similar kind of problems and all. So if you have to really jump and your idea is really good idea, then you can just join. There's so many. Nowadays, it's not a problem. Even Biotech has a database, DBT has a database. You can connect yourself with the right kind of database and then just start communicating with them.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. And one request to you and Minister Sir also, that like exposure visits to the bigger this thing, so that if you can arrange, that will be really great for us.
We will arrange that because
have
since we
learned
are in the ecosystem, we will facilitate that.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
You want to say something?
Exposure visit no problem, we can arrange.
Okay, ma'am, you want to summarize the session?
So I think it was a wonderful session, starting from that there is something new concept that we have now trying to establish. As we all now heard that today, Assam is the first state to implement Bio3 policy, that is biotechnology for economy, environment and employment. So that the kind of questions we got actually, that I think is the best forum that through establishment of Bio3 cell in the state, I think that with the right place to interact and also just to see that how to take your research, in the sense bridging the gap was the most important thing that was discussed. How to take your proof of concept and how to take your research and maybe the innovation to the next level. So I think once the Bio3 cell will be established in the state and there will be a structured pathway to interact with the entire ecosystem and also all stakeholders, even beyond the state. So that is the aim of this state with the central government, to establish that Bio3 cell, and also to just see that how these kind of activities, whether it's a production of bio-based products, which everybody now has heard that everybody now is in that kind of a stage where you know that what are the existing strengths in the state. For example, the nutraceutical, functional food, and also fragrance and all. But going beyond that also, to whom to contact, and the question came from that how to get exposure to that also, and then how to arrange training and all for the startups and to the innovators and all. I think all these can be done through Bio3 cell, and SNT Council under the guidance of SNT Secretary who is sitting here in the audience, I think they are able to do these things as per the requirement, and also I can see it within 1 month time the way it has gone ahead and they got the cabinet approval and all. So it is the commitment from the government in the state and the same commitment from the center. So I think bringing together all these things, connect the dots appropriately, and also just see that where our state can really add value to the existing ecosystem, and especially in biofoundry and setting up biofoundry and biomanufacturing hub in the state can actually take this Assam really to the next level, and also can become a hub in the global, or leader also maybe at times to come. So this is something that is an initiative that state has taken, and today we all are discussing biotech and also bio-innovation, bioeconomy, and how to set up biofoundries and biomanufacturing hub. It has never happened earlier. True. So this is something, new energy, new enthusiasm and everything, whether that the kind of audience we have today, and they are trying to understand where they can play a major role in this and how to connect themselves then with all the stakeholders here. So this is something really great, and we had a wonderful session with a discussion and all our eminent panelists here who have contributed significantly to that kind of this sector. Thank you very much from my side.
Thank you for that enthusiastic and crisp summary actually for the session. So before we end the session, I would like to invite Shri Pallav Gopal Jha, IAS Secretary to Government of Assam, Department of Science and Technology, to deliver the vote of thanks.
Good evening, esteemed dignitaries, distinguished guests, and valued participants. As we conclude this insightful session on biomanufacturing and biofoundries, leveraging BioE3 policy for Assam's roadmap, it is my privilege to extend a heartfelt vote of thanks on behalf of Government of Assam. First and foremost, my deepest gratitude to our Honorable Minister, Shri Keshav Mohanto sir, for his inspiring address and for laying out a clear vision of Assam's biotechnology landscape. Sir, your leadership continues to guide us towards sustainable development and innovation. I also like to extend our deepest gratitude to Shri Om Prakash sir for guiding us in organizing this session since beginning of Advantage Assam. A special thank you to Dr. Alka Sharma for delivering the inaugural address and sharing her valuable insights, and to Dr. Swapnil Sinha for moderating the session with clarity and focus. I would also like to express my appreciation for our esteemed panelists, Dr. Manish Diwan, Bairak Government of India, Mr. Rajiv Gandhi, Hester Biosciences India Limited, Mr. Krishna GS, President ABLE, Mr. Subramani Ramchandrappa, Formbox. Your expertise and experience have added immensely to our discussions today. I'm extremely thankful to each of you for taking out time and honoring our invite. To our participants, thank you for engagement during the interactive session. Your questions and insights contributed greatly to the event's success. A big thank you to the organizing team, volunteers and support staff for your dedication and seamless execution of the event. As we move forward, let us transform today's ideas into actions, contributing to Assam's growth as a hub for biomanufacturing and green innovation. Thank you all once again. Wishing you all safe travels and continued success. Have a wonderful evening. Thank you.
Before we disperse, I would like to have a felicitation ceremony.
Yeah, I will request our eminent guests to just give us a few moments. Me and Minister sir will felicitate all of you. And post that, MOU signing will be held in the MOU hall. I will request CEO Biotech Park and all the other signees to join us there. Thank you.
Thank you very much for such an insightful session. We hope that Assam could serve as a palette of resources with use of potentialities displaying a pinpoint precision of excellence. We believe the bioeconomy will blossom in the days to come. And as a token of gratitude, we take a moment of felicitating a respected guest, and the felicitation is done by our Honorable Minister, Shri Keshav Mohanto. We take the honor of felicitating Dr. Alka Sharma. We take the opportunity of felicitating Dr. Om Prakash, IAS, Mission Director, Homographica of Home. We take the moment of felicitating Mr. Rajiv Gandhi, Founder, CEO and Managing Director, Hester Biosciences Limited. We take the opportunity of felicitating Mr. Manish Diwan, Head, Biofoundry, NCR, Biotech Cluster, Biotek, Government of India. We take the opportunity of felicitating Shri G.S. Krishna, President, ABLE, India. We take the opportunity of felicitating Shri Subramaniam Ramachandrappa, and we felicitate Dr. Swapnil Sinha, CEO, Bionest, IIT, Guwahati. Thank you very much, respected dignitaries. I request all the dignitaries to kindly halt for a moment as we will be clicking a group picture on the stage. I request the respected dignitaries to kindly halt on stage as we will be taking a group picture before we disperse to the next MOU signing hall. Thank you very much.